All right. Happy Saturday. Welcome to a Minecraft Musings. Good morning. Actually, I wanted to see this a little bit. Kind of what do we have going on over there? Trying to think of my next big project. I don't know. There's a few things. So let's go ahead and do some farming. Get some emeralds going. Got quite the bee farm going over here. But what I want to do next is build like an animal sanctuary for all the different types of animals. And we got a roller coaster, so we've got animal entertainment down. You can't see it from here, but I love doing stuff like that. Just ridiculous, like silly stuff. And I had a llama roller coaster in the world that I used to keep on my realm. And oh, I had a gigantic emerald block pyramid. I had so many emeralds from trading so much, and it's because like you trade a bunch of these to get experience and the emeralds, so you can buy books for enchanting your tools. All the times that I've died, like I actually died again last night. So this level 15, yeah, I was level 20, and then I already gained it all back from trading, and then I spent a bunch of emeralds from a wandering trader and got back up to this level, but and I don't really care about being this level. I just want to be able to enchant my tools when I need to. So it's good to have some levels. But so right now I'm just kind of like stocking up on supplies for yeah. And already this morning there's just a wave of people that are so mad about FEMA and illegals and I don't know. And I think it's important to like get a few things understood. Like as far as immigration, migrants, same with homeless people and people that are housing insecure. Because homeless people, it's really defeating, and like or bums or hobos or like the bad names that we used to have for people that were living on the streets or didn't really have a place to go. Because that pigeonholes them into a box. It's like, well, I guess I'm homeless now. I might as well just, and a lot of them turn to drugs or alcohol and they just party for as long as they can and, try to forget that they're living on the street or they don't have like a nice warm place to go or, and certain periods of places it's not as bad. Like California, there's a lot of people. You go to Venice Beach and there's just like a bunch of people living on the streets and like street performers and doing stuff, trying to get money and for whatever reason. But something to note, and something I noticed when I worked at Subway for 5 years and we had people living on the streets near the restaurant, if you could call it that, the fast food place. It is a restaurant, it serves food and all that. We did have standards and quality and all, and that was the thing. Like, I don't mean to slander Subway at all. Although the food's not all that great. I mean, same with McDonald's. Like, I tried to have McDonald's the other day and I was all excited. I was like, oh, I'm going to go have a nice, like, unhealthy meal, but like enjoy it with all the grease and stuff. And then, like, and the fries were good. They're delicious. But then, like, I ate a couple of the chicken sandwiches. First one tasted great. The second one tasted like sand and wood. And I was just like, oh, and it was like my body was noticing that you're eating more preservatives than actual food, and but and not to knock McDonald's either. They employ a lot of people, especially a lot of people coming from jail and prison. Like, McDonald's is one of the biggest employers of people who have made mistakes and have caught felonies, and so I do tip my hat to them. I had a lot of friends work for McDonald's. One of my buddies, no, wait, I'm mixing up two people. No, that was another dude, but I met him outside of a liquor store when we were both on the outs, and he had cancer. So like he was out of the pot and into the fire, like as far as life goes. That was pretty depressing. And that's why I get all excited when I hear Joe Biden say something like, we're going to try to fight cancer. Like that's what we need to be focusing on. Because, oh my gosh, that's so true. But what we're stuck focusing on is that FEMA gave a bunch of money to illegals. Like that's the big outrage on XApp right now. And it's not exactly 100% false or true. And this one lady made this really great post. She took the time to screenshot like 4 or 5 of the biggest screenshots and the more important points of this FEMA website, addressing all of these rumors that are coming up. And I get it. Like, we're in the time of a natural disaster. I'm not trying to downplay this at all. Like, there's a lot of people struggling out there. North Carolina, Georgia. I saw this guy that I knew from college that I had no idea he had moved to Georgia. He used to run like a lawn mowing, like landscaping company out here. Actually, I only met him a couple of times, so it was kind of interesting. I mean, he was a good guy, has kids, a nice family and everything, but like, it was just funny because like, not only were we friends on my original Facebook that went to hell when I had my mental health episode, I did have a mental breakdown. I went to a couple mental hospitals. I was It was actually kind of funny in hindsight. My family member actually committed me because I was smoking the ganja, and she didn't like it. And and then I got put on lithium, and then I stopped taking lithium because I don't want to take this garbage. Don't do that. I later found out from my psychiatrist that if I didn't wean myself off of it, I would go insane. It would induce psychosis. Oh, and it did. It did. I thought like Jesus was talking to me, the devil, angels, Bill Gates, like, and it sounds crazy, but honestly, it's not that much of a stretch. Like if I were to actually like take the time to make a nonprofit organization, start growing food, and start supplying food to areas for free without any expectation of payment or, reciprocation, I'm sure Bill Gates might talk to me one day. Like, it's not that much of a stretch. And I was already working on, like, I've always been trying to help people. Like, when I worked at the ski resort, I used to teach people from Argentina. Not a lot. I mean, that sounds like I did, like, a whole great thing. But there was a few people from Argentina that we had a worker exchange program where they would come and work at the ski resorts for basically minimum wage. And, like, they'd get free housing. They'd get, like, an experience. Like, oh, we can come hang out and ski and all that. But they didn't know how to ski. Like, not all of them. And there's got to be mountains down there. Like, that sounds pretty judgmental and ignorant of me like that. But so I taught a few of them how to ski, and so I was like, hey, this is how you do this, and let's go out for, and it wasn't just me. Like, a lot of people on the mountain love to help people. They're like, oh man, you're one of our coworkers? Yeah, you're in the club. Like, you're not a tourist. And tourists, they paid our bills and our wages, but at the same time, when you work at a ski resort, you get to see all those people go out and have fun while you're sitting there. And I was a boot fitter my first year. And no matter how nice the people are, you're smelling their feet. You're trying to find them a boot that fits, and like, and if they have larger calves, then it's the awkward situation. Well, we got to get calf extenders. And I had a couple coworkers that loved to shame people for being fat, and I was like, no, not fat, sorry, overweight or like a little more heavy set. I just got some news from the doctor. I'm pretty heavy set now. I'm weighing at like 260 pounds. It's okay. I already lost 5 or 6 pounds. It was like I was down at 254. And like, a big thing was I just stopped eating ice cream at night because I did. I was in a slump for a bit there. I was like, yeah, I like eating ice cream. I give my kids dessert and then I'll just eat like a whole pint of ice cream. It was like, ugh. So, but I got to be careful because also one of my football coach lost his leg to diabetes, and I lost my co-parent's dad to diabetes. Potentially father-in-law. I can kind of consider him a father-in-law, even though we never ended up getting married, his daughter and I. But like, and preventable too. And this guy wasn't like poor or even like struggling. That's how our healthcare system is. Like, it's so hard. It's such a nightmare to make it in, do all the checkups, do the things, and and for what? And then, uh, just to pay a bunch of bills, and you gotta fight for every little bit of bonus that you get too. That's the sickening part. Is like, I have to validate, like, or turn in receipts and this and that, and like, yeah, and most of the time I get it okay, but oh. Anyways, back to the hurricane stuff. Sorry, we're very random on this show, but basically, wait, do you have stuff? Oh, I already bought from you. Oh wait, let's get a new one. Okay. Oh, this is my current project. We should work on this. So, oh yeah, there's just a little, put in a table. And then we have a secret, much larger house. So, and I'm trying to stay as big as that, but eventually start branching out. But I need to figure out which direction I want to go because, I mean, potentially I'm going to start breaking into other underground. Well, maybe not, because the cow area over there, where you can see where my marker is there, spreads to about there, I want to say. Maybe there. And then say I want to do it for this house. Well, either way. Um, I don't know. There's so much going on. The problem with danger and misinformation is that the lies spread faster than the truth. Like, and that's just the sad reality of the nature of things. Let's go ahead and just put that back for now. Um, Like someone, I hate it when they're like, "Oh, I'm just asking questions." I see Elon post so much propaganda and so much nonsense. Oh, I did get a couple llamas. I borrowed them, so we have them for when I want to start adding. I still need to finish the roof on this place. Yeah, because I wasn't sure about that. That's the original roof, and I was thinking about making like, adding to it so we keep the original roof, but at the same time, I might just want to extend it and make it. Wee. This is so funny. Oh, come on. That's the downside to this because it's like kind of right in the way, and if villagers are walking around, like I feel like it's already a bit disruptive. Like, you don't want to be standing on it. There's a chicken. Cow's probably gonna go over me real soon. Come on, do it, do it. I hear it. Whee! Uh-oh. I only see one. Um, I only see one. Uh, I think I might know where the other one is. Yep. So somehow it glitched and that one went backwards. Interesting. Oh well. We'll leave it for now. Sorry, Cal, you're gonna just kind of be there, but all of this is fake. None of it's real. I still try to be nice and apologize, like, an AI and say thank you and please, and like, just because it's the polite, nice thing to do. You're trying to create an artificial intelligence, you need to treat it like you would treat a person, or like how you'd like to be treated. I mean, because one day it will be like a person, and that's a scary thing to think about. Because all the people that, might see it as an easy vent to, project their own insecurities and anger throughout the day, they're going to start picking on machines. And people already do. Like, I mean, if they don't realize that, well, well, either way, I just think it's sick, like what's happening on XApp, like all those people taking advantage of the hurricane and just being like, they're not helping, FEMA's giving money to illegals, and like, and you keep saying stuff like that. Yeah, the people on the ground are going to believe it. And then FEMA like put out their own statement, like, no, the money that people are talking about was a separate fund, not from FEMA funds. Like, I mean, FEMA manages it, but it was voted on by Congress and approved, and like it's a separate funnel of money. Like, it's not disaster relief funds at all, and they're not running out of money, but they are keeping the purse strings tight because here's the thing. You need to help like the most severe cases first, like the people that lost their homes and everything. And all it takes is for one Trump supporter to be like, "Oh, I applied for aid and they denied me, or they made me wait." And it's like their property might not have even been all that damaged, or like, or they, I mean, it's still like they probably, they might have even still lost something. But there's people out there that like have dead family members that they're trying to find. Like, we're just trying to find bodies and make sure and like save who we can, locate the ones that we lost, and like that way they're accounted for. And as sad and gruesome as that is, it's still better than not knowing, because then it's like, maybe they'll just come walking through that door, like, or whatever, and that's just heartbreaking and devastating for the people. And this is all a big photo op. Like, Donald Trump, despicable guy that he is. Yeah, he brought a lot of supplies, so that's great. He couldn't just bring the supplies and just leave them. He had to do a photo op. So he did a whole speech with his podium and just stacks of supplies behind him to let people know what he's doing. And he's there. You don't see Biden there on a photo op. Biden waited to fly in until like things were settled and more stable, and like so he wasn't getting in the way. And you gotta imagine Trump's like security or his camera crews, like all these people setting this up, like, for what? He basically made it a rally stop of a disaster area. I'll let you live. Anyways, I don't even know what we're doing. Let's go. Oh, and I also dismantled part of the turtle because I needed some emeralds. Oh, I guess it's growing back. So I could add to that. So I don't know. I don't know. I feel like there's a lot of people being convinced that, I mean, it's a bad situation. No doubt about that. Like it's a terrible thing that luckily I don't have to worry about that sort of thing in Colorado. We have our own things, not nearly as bad, but blizzards and snowstorms and ice and like if you're not careful, you could be stuck outside and freeze to death. But like it's definitely not no, hey, here's a hurricane. It just destroyed like everything we've built for, and worked so hard to do. Whoops. Oh no, that's about. Oh wait, I can rebuild the turtle. Nice. Now I have two turtles. Start another one. So that'd be like one, two, three. Yep, that one will fit. So I don't know. It's all bad and it's despicable. And these people trying to, it's the ones trying to tell the lies. And then Elon tried to do a publicity stunt, like to get Starlink in, which is great, but all he had to do was work with the government. But instead, what he did is he just flew over there like a maverick and said, just go fly around and like act like all this. And like, yeah, random people in helicopters are not permitted to like go into the disaster area because we don't want you to become part of the victims too. And if you're not registered with one of the local help agencies, there could be a number of disastrous scenarios like terrorism, like people trying to like loot, steal. Like you don't know who's on that chopper. Now, granted, once you do know, and they did, like, you know, Elon like was basically shouting at a wall, like posting on his X app, waiting for like a government official to see his post. And Steve Buttigieg, or however you say his name, did see him, and he's like, "Hey, the airspace isn't closed, but what are you trying to do? Like it's restricted to emergency vehicles only to help find people and save their lives. Like you're coming in and that's great. Like they do need internet, so it's not like he's completely missing the mark. But even Elon is guilty of like taking advantage of this as a photo op, like or a total publicity stunt. Like, oh, I have all these things and I'm gonna help them, but no. And it's just like that's great, but work with your government. Like that could almost be seen as treason. Like, showboating and trying to like one up the government and in a potentially dangerous and risky way too. Like just because you have it, Trump and Elon both, they're trying to be like, no, no, look, we're helping so much and we're love us, love me. Well, I need to be seen and heard. Meanwhile, the people that get paid to do it are out there doing it, and then they got to deal with that. Like, I mean, at the end of the day, I am really glad that Elon provided a bunch of Starlink. I'm not trying to take away from that at all. That's a great thing. It's just, it's kind of skanky. Like, he's a slut for publicity and money. And that's basically how I see him now. At least when he does those things. Like, the other stuff, the electric semis, wonderful. Like, I loved watching that. Like, the idea of not having to have J brakes on semis and having a lot less crashes and stuff, that's wonderful. But him basically being like a poster boy for Donald, like it's kind of ugh. All because he doesn't want to pay taxes. That's it. That's all. That's the main reason he just jumped on the Trump bandwagon. Like, I mean, granted, the wars need to stop, and this whole Ukraine thing, I don't even want to touch that with a 10-foot pole because I don't know. I mean, I know some people from Ukraine, and they just want to go home like whenever they can. Like, it's not like, it's scary in its own way. Like they're being, well, whatever. Let's focus on what we want to build next, because I'm trying to think of where I want to make this nature preserve. Like, there's a few options. So we have some cherry blossom hills over there. We have, ooh, actually, ooh, that could be pretty cool. Let's go scope it out. So if you look on the mini map, there's like a heart-shaped lake just tucked behind this mountain, this small mountain range that we have here. Um, that would be cool to just build like a structure in the middle of that heart lake and then have, ooh, in fact, that's what I want to do. Let's go ahead and make it into a tropical area because I have tons of these coral. I just buy them and hoard them, for. Although, as I say that, I'm also kind of hesitant because I kind of want to use the coral for out here. Also, don't run with it because if you accidentally place the coral block, it dies. It instantly dies. So it's not fun. Or maybe it takes a sec or two, but it'll die and turn to gray. Yeah, so this might be something to focus on for now. Like, make the harbor. Yeah, let's do that first. Or no, I'm so indecisive. Let's see. Let's get a big picture. Oh, something else I found out last night when I was just playing offline, um, or off camera. I can reuse the same wall. So I left that there because basically what I'm gonna do is I have this giant thing. I'm gonna make another giant one, and then maybe even a third and fourth, or a second and no, third and fourth, yeah, because we get and then basically have quadrants, like 1, 2, 3, 4, or whatever. Just have a massive wall. That way, when people are sailing, coming here, they'll see the giant towers. Like I'm gonna make a bunch of like basically a fort over here. Oh, and I did harvest all of the obsidian that was in here. In fact, check this out. This is insane because I'm getting ready for that project. I have almost 5 stacks of obsidian. It's ridiculous. Oh, and I made this into this little contraption here. This is a smelter. That's how I died. I was down there farming um, gold, and it basically. So I had a bunch of swords, gold swords in here. Maybe it was here. Anyway, because I have a zombie piglin farm of sorts. Now we'll go look at the Heart Lake. Because it's going to take me a while to get more coral like this. And if we're going to make that the nature preserve, then I do kind of want the coral to be back there. We can have a bunch of tropical fish, puffer fish, all that good stuff. I don't know if they despawn when you use them for the buckets, but I've been slowly gathering them too. Okay, and this is dangerous. I don't like it. I'm going to try to actually just go around a little bit. So far, so good. Okay, this is hard packed snow. And see that. Ooh. Yes, there's a lot of potential for this. So this will be my nature preserve area. We'll put a bunch of stuff over here, a bunch of all the different animals, build giant barns. I'll probably have to cap that off because that's dangerous. Hmm. I feel like there's even more. Yeah, like that. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Look at that. It doesn't look too bad until but if you land in that square, that's death. So yeah, look at that. This will be where we build. Uh-oh, what's going on? Oh, you have new test results. Ah, yes, I went to the doctor. All right, so let's dive in. Okay, what do we got going on around here? That looks cool. Um, looks pretty deep. All right. Oh, yep, there we go. There's a cave. I'm gonna make this coral cave. Oh, and it connects into here? Oh, actually, I kind of want to flood all of this. Oh, creepy cave sounds. A lot of diorite, too. I'm going to come back and get a lot of that. 'Cause I'm still building massive structures out of diorite. And I do kind of want this sand, but let's go ahead and just like... How do I want to do this, too? Let's just start putting stuff down. Okay. Nice. I have a lot of yellow coral. Okay. Okay, that's gonna hurt. Tink, tink, tink. All right. Then we can start doing sea pickles or sea cucumbers, whichever one they are. I think they're sea pickles, but either way, because those act like little lights, so I'll need to get some of those. Mm. And they look even cooler with the city texture pack. I need to start doing that. I did have some really cool texture packs at the end of it was the two taboos where I was basically analyzing religion and politics. And because those are the two prickliest conversations that you can have with people, like discussing politics or religion. There's just so much anger about it. And I swear, like the biggest thing, Christians. Christians are to blame for a lot of the holy war nonsense. Like maybe not the holy war nonsense, but a lot of like the ugliness because continuing to say that Jesus was actually a god, that's dangerous. And there's no real proof from it. There's a bunch of people's words and then miracles but then the miracles, I don't know. I mean, they're great words. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying like, the Bible's just garbage. It's not, but to think like the vanity, the level of vanity and greed to think that this prophet was like actual God came down here and you know and even if it was true, like I see if anything that was more what I think was more a method to actually get people to believe and stop acting like jerks to each other. Like, well, no, this is actual God. That's why. It's like, oh, okay, well, if that's the case, then, but if it's just a bunch of, yokels out in the middle of a field just being like, hey, we should be nice to each other. Let's stop doing this. Like, it makes a lot more sense that it was a narrative created by people because we love to create stories and narratives and fables and stories and all of that to try to teach things, and also limited communication medium and technology. Like you didn't have internet and videos and all these things, so you couldn't really just have things. So there was a lot of miscommunications and misunderstandings. And I'll never forget, like one of my favorite people in the world is like, or listening to the guy that on Ancient Aliens, that he translated the Bible into several different languages, and over, and his take was aliens. Like Jesus was an alien. That's what he thinks. Like, God, Jesus, all this, like, whoops, I accidentally posted that one there, are actually aliens. Like angels and all that. And we're probably aliens. Like, I mean, we're terrestrial now, but like, what if we came, what is it? The movie Evolution is where like an asteroid hits the Earth and it has some life on it, and that life just begins to spread and become, ooh, if this place gets a lot of rain, that'll be cool. So this is Coral Cove. We'll just make that. Now I need to slowly add more to my wealth of tropical fish. So every time I see a wandering trader, now I'm going to start. Uh, I need to make a better way out of here. But for now, I just want to get back. There we go. And this could be pretty cool too. Like a bunch of little areas, like a bunch of flowers down here, move a bunch of bees over here. There's that giant cavern. And then it turns into snow. Oh, this is risky. Okay, I mean risky. Oh, okay. I was gonna say risky, but kind of not. Like I've been pretty lucky so far, just running on hard packed snow. Oh, this thing's so cool too. I'm curious as to how that cow, like it must have like only loaded partially in, and so then it maybe bumped or something. I don't know. We still got the chicken going though. Oh, and it's laying eggs as it goes. Awesome. Let's try to. Ha! Almost. It is kind of twisted, but anyways. So, oh, and then there's the alarm, and that's where I'm at with kind of all that. It's like I've just been reposting FEMA's website to all these people that are spreading these lies and being like, here's FEMA's response to every one of these lies, like, or every one of these things, like, you know. And then people are like, oh, you believe FEMA? And it's like, well, yeah, they're extremely audited. Like, there's so many eyes on this, they can't get away with any fraud. I mean, and I'm not disputing that they didn't have a bunch of funds for migrants, like, and illegal immigrants. That's the toss-up. Is like they're not all illegal immigrants. They've been granted temporary status or or some form of another, some way that they're actually here legally. Otherwise, we would arrest them and deport them because they'd be here illegally. And so, right there, that's stretching the truth, misinformation, and lies to where a bunch of angry Republican voters or people listening to this are like, wow, they're here illegally and they're getting all this money. Must be nice. Like, when that's really not the case. They become documented to get any kind of assistance. Otherwise, they'd be undocumented and they couldn't get anything because people might scam. Like, it's human nature to try to scam sometimes if they're feeling like down on their luck or whatever. And even when I've told people, like, for the price of the wall, Trump could have built a series of temporary houses along the border for people to rest, get cleaned up, learn job skills, learn English, assimilate to our culture, at least just enough to where they can function. Like, they don't have to be like American, because what is America? Like, mostly Christian, but also a mix of literally everything else. So that's what it is to be an American is you speak English and you have whatever heritage, and you can speak whatever else other language too. Like, in fact, I applaud those people because being able to speak two languages fluently, that's insane. Like, that's no small feat. So I respect people that do that. I speak a little Spanish, but not enough to really like. I couldn't move to a Spanish-speaking country and be okay. Like, there would definitely be a learning curve. So anyways, just little things like that, and they're spinning things to scare people. It's vanilla terrorism basically. Like, they're trying to scare people into thinking like, oh, I have to vote for Donald because he'll save us. Oh, he loves us. He'll save us. When his family got their riches from evicting people, like, making harsh decisions. I read an article about this one old lady that like he just kicked out because she couldn't pay anymore, and like, you know, turned his back on his family when they were dying. Like, just a bunch of family drama. And it's like money spoils people. We know this. Like, too much money and not enough to do with it, it's really easy to become kind of a bad person. So, anyways, ta-ta for now. I'll see you in the next one. Eventually, that's going to look really cool. So I'll have like that big and then like four of them. In fact, maybe I could even keep building like six of them, try to match the size of that thing. So yeah, so even though it won't be like a complete portal, it'll be a gigantic series of portals. And maybe a few more houses of different types of wood. That was a fun project, although I'm not a big fan of the cherry wood. It's a little too much pink for me, but like, it still looks pretty cool. So anyways, I'm gonna go. Have a great day, everybody. I'll see you in the next one.